sometimes the establishment Democrats are quite frustrating. Most of the time, if not all of the time. So they'll say things like, oh, they're for a better deal. Slightly better than Trump. Wow, shoot for the stars, why don't you? They talk about resisting. Okay, good, I wanna resist, but I wanna do more than resist. No is not enough. Naomi Klein wrote a book about it. We need affirmative answers. This is our plan. This is what we are going to do for the American people. It's not good enough to say we're slightly better than Donald Trump. Okay, they are ecstatic that they defeated Trump's healthcare proposals. I'm ecstatic about that. It was a horrible proposal, and only 17% of the country was in favor of it. If you can't beat a proposal that only 17% of the country agrees with, well, then you should retire immediately. But they did beat it, and I'll give them credit for it. But it's not enough. What we have to do is actually say, this is what we stand for. So when it comes to healthcare, it's fairly easy. You know, Donald Trump said during the campaign that he'd have something that covered everyone and would be cheaper than the plans we have now and would actually provide more services. Well, and everybody said, well, he's promising the moon and the sky, that's impossible. Actually, it isn't. There is such a service, it's called Medicare. Now, don't take my word for it. Take the American people's word for it. You know what it rates in terms of popularity? 77%. Now, the Republicans will tell you, oh, no, people don't like Medicare. No, it doesn't do enough. There's lines, or there's this, or there's that, and all these different things that they make up. Well, if they don't like it, they got a funny way of showing it, since this had its enormous popularity at 77%. Now, what we're suggesting is, why don't you let the rest of us in? Medicare for All. Why is this program that is working pretty damn well and better than anything else we've got only for people above the age of 65? Let us in. Medicare for All. By the way, if you poll that, it polls at 60%. 60% is incredibly popular. Hey, Democratic Party, if you cannot get behind something polling at 60%, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you there just to resist against horrific ideas, or are you there to actually improve the lives of Americans? So stand up, stand up. Look, Just Democrats fight for economic justice and social justice. That's why it's called Justice Democrats, and they represent just us, not the donors. So you know what they did? You guys stood up. And I'm not just talking about the organization, I'm talking about the people who support it. So we did a petition for Medicare for All. It just passed over 100,000 signatures. 101,000 signatures, but it was more specific than that. We asked you guys to get involved and to email your congressman, to send them notes, to call them, to call your senators, call all those guys. You know what happened? Well, there's already HR 676 in the House. That's John Conyers' bill for Medicare for All. The number of Democrats now sponsoring that bill has gone up 60%. 60% increase in co-sponsors. The reason that the people in the establishment don't want you to try something is not because they think it won't work, it's because they think it will work. You see that? We fight on an issue, we win on an issue. So now there's so many more sponsors for that legislation in the House. John Conyers has thanked us for that effort. He did a press conference recently with Ro Khanna. There are great members of Congress. Know who is impeding progress and know who's on the side of progress. So those guys fought for it. They did a press conference for it. Now they've got the majority of Democrats in the House on their side, thanks to Justice Democrats and the nurses union. And now more and more people are starting to join in. We've done joint petitions with Our Revolution and many other groups. So in this case, we're asking for your help again. It's not enough just to defeat bad ideas. We've got to fight for our ideas, because our ideas are popular, our ideas will lead to better results for the American people. So, hashtag stand up for Medicare. We want you guys to do it, we want members of Congress to do it. Now you can tweet on that, but the thing that we're asking for is even more specific, and it's super simple. Make a video of yourself just saying, I want in, I want Medicare for All. There's no reason why we shouldn't have Medicare for All. And I'm standing up and saying, I want it. If all you want is, you can just say this one simple sentence and it's enough. I pledge to stand up for Medicare for All. And if enough of you say it, enough Congress people will say it. And hey, Democratic Party, you might want to run on it. It's incredibly popular. So go to standupformedicare.com and submit your video. It's super simple. Sign up for it. Let's make that number not 100,000, but 1 million, until finally the Democratic leadership goes, okay, you're right. Maybe we should stand for something. And maybe standing for something that is incredibly popular and effective is actually the smart thing to do. It's not just the right thing to do, it's the practical thing to do. At least the electoral wins and at least the policy wins. The only reason you wouldn't want to do it is if your donors pay you not to do it. But Justice Democrats aren't regular old Democrats. They're not for their donors, they're for us. So justicedemocrats.com, justicedemocrats.com/win to help. And in this case, standupformedicare.com. Let's fight, let's win. We're on the road to doing that already. Let's finish it. If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. tytnetwork.com/join.